Hi, I'm Mrs. Lambert and I'm back with more family math. I hope you're all hanging in there. I have a new game for you today to help out. It's called Leftovers. It is a division game. And it's great for a variety of ages, whether your child's already working on division or not. As long as they can divide some counters into equal groups, they should be good to go. Okay, so some materials you need to get started. You're going to need some paper as a recording sheet. I'm going to be playing for partner A and partner B today. So normally everyone would have their own recording sheet, but I've got it on one. You're going to need a die. You're going to have 15 counters of some kind. I'm playing with some pom-poms today. Whatever you have around the house works. And then you're going to need 6 small paper plates, or I've just got some paper cut out in little squares. Something to help you make your groups. So you're going to need 6 of those. Okay, so to get started, grab your partner, and here we go. So step 1, you're going to roll the die. Okay, so 4. So the die roll shows you how many groups you're going to have. So you're going to take your papers or your paper plates to make that number of groups. So I'm going to make 4 groups. 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll set aside the extras so I don't confuse myself with those. Okay, and both partners are playing with the same 15 counters. And the way that you earn points is you collect the leftovers, any remainders that remain after you've equally divided up the counters. And then at the end of the game, whoever has the most leftovers wins the game. Okay, so I've got my 4 groups, and now I'm starting as player A right now. And so I'm going to take these 15 counters and divide them equally among the 4 groups. So you can watch your child and see what they do. Do they go around and put 1 in each group and then 2 in each group? Do they already know the math fact in their head and go straight to equally dividing it? Do they have a different strategy? Just watch and observe. Okay, so I've put 3 in each one. And then I have 3 counters left over. I know this is a leftover because I have 4 groups. So in order to make it equal, I'd need to have at least 4, right? To put 1 in each group, but I don't. So these 3 are my leftovers. So I get to keep those as player A. So I'm going to keep those in my keep pile, and they are now out of the game. Okay. If you have younger kids, this is where the turn would end. With older kids, you can ask them to record the division equation that just happened. So I started with 15 counters, and I divided it into 4 groups. And there were 3 in each group, right? There's 3 pom-poms on each paper. So far my equation looks like this. 15 divided by 4 equals 3. However, I still have these 3 counters, because remember I started with 15. And so those are my remainders. So in math, the way we annotate the remainders is we make an R, and then I put my remainder 3. So everything that's labeled as an R is also a way of showing how many points I have right now, because I get to keep those 3. Okay. Now it would be your partner's turn. So player B would go. So they now start with only 12 counters, right? Because I took 3 out of play. So I'm going to move these aside because we're going to roll the die. 1. So I just have 1 group. So you take these 12 and you divide them by 1. Well, there they are. Are there any remainders? No, because they all fit equally into 12. So if that happens, then player B doesn't get any points this round because there are no leftovers, but they would still record the equation. So 12, because that's what I started with, divided by 1, because there's only one group, equals 12. There's 12 counters on that plate. So just like that. Okay, and now it would be player A's turn again. I'm still starting with 12 counters because player B didn't take any away. Okay, so let's see how many groups I have. 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so these again divided equally. So I don't get to keep anything. There's no leftover, no remainder. So let's write my equation. 12 divided by 6 equals 2. There we are. Okay, so player B starts with 12 again. Oh, 6 again. So player B would repeat exactly what I just did. You'll notice that sometimes in the game you do get stuck on the number 12. Why is that? Ask your child about that. What is it about the number 12 or the number on the die that makes it so that there's no remainders during that one for a lot of the turns? Okay? So play continues back and forth until there are more plates or more groups than there are counters. So for example, if I rolled, okay, well, 1's not really gonna work. Okay, I rolled a 4, so that would mean 4 groups. But there's only 2 counters left. Can I equally divide 2 counters among 4 groups without fractions? No. So these would be the remainders. And so is there something equally divided in the groups? It's 0. So this is how you'd write your equation. So you started with 2 counters, so it'd be 2. You divided it among 4 groups. And there are 0 in each group, but there's a remainder of 2. So you can see that under player B's equation there. 2 divided by 4 equals 0, remainder 2. And that would be the end of the game, right? Because all the counters that are left would be remainders, so player B would keep those, okay? So at this point, you and your partner would count up how many leftovers you each had. Whoever had the most would win the game, okay? And then you can discuss with your child what they noticed. Is there a pattern in their equations? Is there another number like 12 that maybe they got stuck on for a few rounds? Again, why is that? What do you notice about all the numbers that didn't have any remainders? What did you notice about all the numbers that did have remainders, right? What's the biggest remainder you could have had, right? Is there an equation that would have gotten them the most points possible, right? Those are some questions that you can explore with your child. And like I said, with younger kids, if the equations are too hard for them, don't worry about the notation. Just focus on helping them make equal groups, and that will be great for them at their level. Okay, I hope you enjoy this one. Practice that division, introduce those remainders, and I hope you're all doing well at home, staying safe and healthy. Okay, I'll see you again next time.